And we're following some breaking news reports coming out of the CIA in line with the Trump administration's move to make right following the former Biden administration's handling on COVID-19. One America's chief Pentagon correspondent joins us live with more on this. Gabrielle, what can you tell us? What's the latest?
Yes, absolutely. So we saw even earlier in this week that the DoD has been doing a sweeping turnaround in trying to rectify the decisions that were made in that vaccine mandate. But the latest that we are hearing now is Terry Aderim, who led the CIA's Center for Global Health Services until about a week ago, has just been fired. The news coming out about 40 minutes ago. A source familiar with the matter confirmed that the decision, as I spoke with them, made by CIA Director Ratcliffe, that this was in direct response to an exclusive whistleblower report that we actually posted about on X in February, detailing the CIA's mishandling of the COVID vaccine card rollout. And for the viewers, and catching up on exactly what we were talking about in February, the CIA was caught handing out COVID cards with select serial numbers that were in consecutive order. And those serial numbers were found by adversaries to be directly attached to the CIA's medical department. And what happened with that is that CIA officers took those COVID cards, they went on deployments, they uploaded those COVID card informations that were required by, say, the countries that they were deploying to, whether it was in overt or in covert operations. And whistleblowers have told me, confirming that the CIA asked for officers after they went on these deployments, utilize those COVID cards, whether, again, covert or overt in operations, and were told to bring those cards on back to CIA headquarters and other facilities within Virginia to get new cards in which the CIA actually had to roll out new serialized numbers that were not actual in consecutive order to obfuscate. But clearly the damage was already done. So seeing this Trump administration, we hear all the time talking specifically about the DoD, bringing on those back who might have been stiff-armed and fired over the COVID mandate. But now we see the CIA making right in some very serious and, say, dire logistical and operational errors that have yet to be answered up until this very point. So this is big news.
Yes, and Gabrielle, in continuing coverage surrounding the CIA, it appears that there has been speculation of the agency making movements in Afghanistan. But we understand you have been able to talk to CIA officials directly about this. Can you give us an update?
Yes, absolutely. A lot going on here at the CIA. Very busy week for them. But even prior to this reporting, there's been a lot of continued conversation with signals intelligence and radar capabilities of C-17s, B-2 bombers. We talk about the Patriot batteries that work with the THAAD missiles over in Diego Garcia. We've talked about that here on this network for the last 3 weeks. But interestingly enough, according to the Afghan news outlet Kama Press, last week they had said multiple U.S. Air Force C-17 transport planes were reportedly landing in Bagram Air Base, which for our viewers, that's located just north of Kabul in eastern Afghanistan, delivering what they say were military equipment, vehicles, and high-level intelligence personnel, which would include, by this report, the CIA Deputy Director Michael Ellis. And a lot of very notable outlets over on X have been regurgitating this information. As of this morning, there hadn't been any official confirmation from the U.S. or the Taliban, any Taliban officials regarding these claims. But we just received word personally from the CIA. This is CIA Director of Public Affairs, Liz Lyons, and she tells me exclusively that the reports that CIA Deputy Director Michael Ellis was not at Bagram Air Force, those reports at that Air Force base are absolutely false. So a lot of speculation, especially when we talk about the ongoing conversations and dealing with, say, Iran, and a lot of the movements going on in Diego Garcia. The CIA wants to get ahead of this and make it clear that no personnel were, at least overtly, brought to that Air Force base. So trying to get ahead of a lot of the movement that's been going on with mainstream media and the press alike over, especially on X, as of this morning. So we can confirm that is not true.
And yes, we thank you for bringing us all this breaking news and updates regarding the CIA. Our Chief Pentagon Correspondent, Gabrielle Cuchilla, with the latest. Thank you for that report.